What's up, guys? Welcome to this brand new update on the price of Bitcoin. I apologize, I didn't make videos recently. The reason that my laptop was broken and I actually still have it in the repair center, and it will be ready probably next week. But I continue to get more and more questions about what's happening with price, so I decided not to wait and just make a brief video on the situation of the market. And I would have to tell a little bit more, maybe a kind of in-depth view on some points, because it is very important. Recently, many people came to the market without understanding what is happening, what they are doing. So I would have to say few important points. First of all, we are trying to make profits here, right? So you want to invest, you want to trade and make some money. But as with every task you're doing, every goal you're trying to accomplish, you need to have a plan. When you're saying, I want to make money, it's not a plan, it's your desire, right? And when we're dealing with monetary issues, with financials, finances, it's very important, because you basically risking with your money which you earn, and it's your life with huge extent. So when you are doing this in the manner which is not accurate and which is not like careful, you may lose it. And the planning is even more important in this case. I'm sorry I don't have much to show you while I do this disclaimer, like a introductory explanation, but this is very important, so please bear with me. This is very important to make a plan, and the plan here is crucial just because we are trying to make certain target reached. By target, I mean that we have a goal for our moves, for our investments, whatever. So we invest money to reach certain goal. How much money do we want to make? So many people ask in the market, when they invest in crypto, when they buy Bitcoin or altcoins, they ask, let's say, what will be the new all-time high, or when Bitcoin will stop growing, or is it good to buy Bitcoin now, or which altcoin to buy? You see, all those questions are simply incorrect by their definition. The thing is, you cannot answer them with the result which the person who is asking wants. The point is, this person doesn't know what he or she wants. So let's say you came to the person who is building a house, and you say that I would like to build a house. How much would it cost to build a house? And this person said, okay, it depends on how big is it, which materials you will use, where will you use it, where you will build it, and so on and so forth. So many factors. You see, this is the same thing. Here, your main goal is to make money, right? But you cannot make it unless you'll set the goal in a more rigorous way. If you say that, okay, I want to make 20% of my investment in the next 1 year, that is a goal. So then you'd say, all right, I have this amount, and I have this amount of savings, and I have this level of risk tolerance, and I have this kind of diversification of my investment portfolio. I can have this kind of setup for different tools and algorithms, and all of that will be included in the major and the general picture. Without those numbers to be said, you cannot say, shall you buy Bitcoin or not? What's your purpose? What's your goal? You cannot answer those questions. So like the other way around, I can give you another simple example. I want to make money. Shall I buy Bitcoin? Yes, you shall buy Bitcoin if you want to make money. And then Bitcoin drops 20%, and that guy says, you just told me that I can make money buying Bitcoin, but I didn't tell you when. You didn't ask me if it's possible to make money for within like a week. I meant 10 years, but you didn't tell me that it's not good for you. It's too long, right? So you see, there are so many factors. In that way, it's impossible to answer those questions. And what we're doing here and what I'm doing here on the channel and on my other social network accounts, basically I'm trying to answer those general questions without knowing other personal details of those people. But this is a hard task. In any case, I will try to do that, and basically what I will do is that I will show what's my understanding of the current situation in general, like what is a major trend here and what to expect and so on. And we are generally do two things for to understand what's happening and what to expect. We do technical analysis, fundamental analysis, right? So for the fundamental analysis, a lot of people are really like into fundamental analysis. They actually they like it because they say, okay, number of addresses in Bitcoin blockchain is going up. That's why it is very bullish sign. Or Elon Musk is buying or pumping Bitcoin. This is a very bullish sign. So this is fundamentals. Well, it's kinda, but not necessarily and not exactly. And you can't really say anything. Again, you can't input any number. Like in trading or investing, you're trading probabilities. You're saying, okay, the chance that the price will go 50% up from now is 65% because this pattern, this formation on the chart is doing the same thing 65% times. And that's your strategy. If you're wrong, then your stop order is executed, and if you do it 100 times, then 65 times you're right. Okay? But with fundamental analysis, you can't say that the chance of the price of Bitcoin goes up to like $5,000 above the current price is 25% because Elon Musk tweeted about it. There is no such a thing. You can't estimate it. So that's why, and not only that's why, but also because it's very, very long-term and subjective, fundamental analysis is not really applicable. It could give you a major understanding of the industry, let's say, or the market, let's say. Bitcoin is great because it's fundamentally new technology which could shift the financial paradigm. Yes, great, fantastic. But now let's talk about the price, because despite Bitcoin was such a great thing, it was very low price and it dropped 70-80% many times before, and so on. It doesn't mean that the price will forever go up. So next point. So we're trading probabilities, right? So nobody can tell you that this is the exact thing that for 100% or 99% of probability will bring this event to occurrence. Like this pattern, for example, we have the ascending wedge, right? Ascending wedges usually are broken down, okay? But if somebody tells you that this is 100% that this happens, it's wrong. It's simply wrong. And there's no signal, indicator, event, pattern, system that is always correct. Everything is very subjective. So when you see that, you always have to put some kind of weight to this or that signal, which means that you will estimate it on the integral value of all the other signals. And again, right now we also have bullish and bearish signs. So let's talk about those. Last time, if you remember, we were talking about Bitcoin price, and it was somewhere around here, I think, maybe middle of March. And I was telling you that, okay, what can happen here is that we can go two ways. I wasn't happy about this rise because it was a divergence, and indeed after that we dropped. And also I wasn't happy about the rise of the height of this peak, because here it was quite of the increase, and after that the price went down. It tested the support, which was the resistance before, and then after that it started to rise again. Here, instead of that, it went very little above the previous high, and this is a sign of the weakness of the market. And instead of making another high, or at least hold above the previous resistance, it went down a lot. It went down to what it was, $40,000, $50,000. And here I say that if the price goes down, then there are two things. First, it could go back to this support, which is about $43,000. Second, there's another support area around here, and this is previous high, right? So we can go here and then bounce from it. That's exactly happened. So we went to this zone, had a nice bounce. Moreover, like you see, the candle here is pretty powerful, so it's a textbook case. And what's happening next? We see another rise. We see the rise above the previous high, which is again very, very weak. And again, we have the highest high on the price and the lower high, so higher high on the price and lower high on the indicator. This is a bearish divergence. What we have after the bearish divergence, we dropped. Also, we have again this rising wedge, so pretty much a textbook case again. And if you followed my Twitter and Telegram, then you know all of that. What is about this situation? As I said, nobody can tell you what happens next. We are just estimating some probabilities. This is the zone. This is a wide zone starting maybe from $44,000, $45,000 to $65,000, $64,000. This is the zone, which could be an accumulation zone or the distribution zone. And if this is accumulation zone, meaning we are expecting the price going up after that, and it's quite long, so the move should be strong, up or down, we don't know. And if it is the distribution zone, it's also very possible, because we will had a lot of accumulation at this area, and we didn't have any major corrections so far. So from that point, the drop could be very strong, up to even like, well, nobody knows where, but there are so many support areas which we could go to, even $10,000. It's also possible, it's just the probability of that it's lower than dropping to 50,000. So if it is the distribution, we can go lower. How to define whether it's distribution accumulation? Very simple actually. Again, we need to look at the price action. So if the price goes like this, retesting this zone and going down, bouncing it from it down, this is very clear signaling that this is the distribution, and we are going down after that. If the price goes like this, this is retest and successful rise after that. This is the accumulation zone, and then we expect a much, much higher rise. So if you bet, actually try to buy around here hoping that it will go up. This is a very dangerous bet, or at least the stop order should be placed. If the stop order is placed, it's actually quite nice trade, because the width here is very small, so the height actually. So it could trade two ways, could be traded two ways. But in any case, let's see how this zone will be exited, how the price will exit from the zone. A couple of things which should be very carefully looked at. First of all, let's draw a simple moving average on the daily time frame, or actually let's do it for exponential moving average. It doesn't really matter, it just shows you like what's the price of, like, expected price, mean price, whatever you call it. And this moving average is serves as the support level, support line rather, for bull market, and the resistance level for bear market. Let's switch to Bitstamp. So you see it's support here, it's resistance here. So support here, resistance here. Kind of, well, this was not the best way for this, not the best season for this moving average. But here again, bull market. So we see support, 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 and recently, for the recent months and like almost a year, it actually served support, 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 support. Every time we see the test of this moving average, every time we see the bounce of the price going up. This is bull market. This is bull market behavior, right? Recently, we saw the drop of the price below that. So in China, there is a lot of blackouts for the mining equipment, 40% hash rate down, and that's the official explanation of the price going down. Instead of that, we're looking at technical indicators. What we see is the price testing this moving average and then returning back to it and trying to go above it, but instead price went even lower. So this moving average now serves as the resistance. It served support before in bull market, now it serves the resistance. Is it good? No, it's not good. If the moving average goes continues going like this, and the price will continue testing it going like that, this is not good for the bull market at all. This is already bearish trend. So please pay attention to that. Also, now you see this support line, right? This support line was again similarly support for many lows here, here, and this is another point of touching it, but now it is broken. It is broken and the price is below the support line, meaning that if we continue staying there, it's a signal of changing the trend. Another signal, just look at the increment, the delta of the highs is going weaker and weaker and weaker. Moreover, for the indicators like RSI, the highs are actually go low. How about this major triangle, this triangular formation? It's actually the descending triangle, which is the bearish pattern. Even for RSI, it's a bearish pattern which is broken. This support is broken. That's not great, guys. That's not good at all. So you see the major points which are not so happy, not so promising, optimistic. Also, highs on weekly time frame are going up, highs on the indicators are going down, and let's be a little less salty here, let's less pessimistic. So let's look at other things, like for example stochastic indicator. Stochastic indicator is very low, meaning that it's a very high chance that from that point we will see a bounce somewhere close, like here, like here. You see the price was going up from there, and RSI is also in a neutral zone, so the market's already cooled down, has cooled down already. The question is, if the bounce happens, if we see the bounce to the upside, will this bounce be the start of the new rise above 65,000, or is it just the bounce, just the correction of the drop? So that should be addressed very carefully when we see that. You see this weekly candle, this is not a great shape of the candle. See the upper shadow here, lower shadow here are long. They're all are long. This is often the candle which is an indication of the trend reversal, local trend or long trend depending on the time frame. So guys, that's another signal for things to be dangerous. Let's look at a little bit more positive signs. Let's look at the major picture here, right? You can see that on the weekly time frame though, as I said, we could see a bounce, but on the weekly time frame, and not only on the weekly time frame, but in general, we do see for the peaks of the price. Actually, even let's switch to the monthly time frame. Why not? Let's switch to monthly time frame. What we see here is every peak is following with a very high peak on the RSI, right here as well. And also, every time we see the all-time high, like the major all-time high, it is very sharp. This was very fast growth, also fast growth. Here instead, we see a kind of a slowdown. So it's not necessarily that this is a signal of the fact that the high is not established, not set, but again, usually we see the burst to the upside before the price goes down. Also, like for example, this area, you see it was quite high for the RSI, but after that we see the correction and one more high. So up quite high, correction, one more. Why not? The stochastic RSI is a bearish crossover here, but we saw that before many times during this point, during this cycle. So we might see it again. We might see another move to the upside for the stochastic. Yes, we could. And that would be another point of the growth. How probable it is, this is a very subjective, very speculative. Let's also look at the moving average, which is on the weekly time frame, and it is 21 periods. Also a very famous one, and it served as support on the bull market, like here, resistance here, bull market here, and here it was support as well. So far, as soon as we didn't break it, we are in the bull market, right? We can be around here, and right now it is somewhere at $43,000. So if the price drops here, again 30% drop, pretty much the same as we had here, it would be great. We see the bounce from that point, and also that would match our support zone here. As you remember, I showed it, so it would pretty much be around the same zone. And we don't know actually whether this pattern continues, so not necessarily this bounce happens, this pattern remains, but it's very likely that, well, at least we may expect that it continues. And as I said, this is a very long point for the top. Here you see the top is very sharp, and before the top was very sharp. Again, it is very likely that it's not a top then. But how about this? This was the top as well, but it was a local top. So we can go up, down, and so on. But the correction here was devastating. So we can see another correction like that. And in fact, we didn't have those 30% correction along this way. So as soon as we don't have it, we might have a longer and deeper correction to compensate this lack of the smaller corrections on the way up. So we can see something like that. It is also a possibility. So another point, like about the highs, the golden ratio multiplier, which I guess you are familiar with, made by Philip Swift, and there is a sign for the top on this indicator. Every time we see the intersection between certain moving averages, here, and it was here, and it was here, here and here, we have that point as the maximum for this cycle. Also, it touches the golden ratio multiplier moving averages, and we actually did this intersection recently, and we are like hovering around the same moving average. That's another signal for the price might be reaching the all-time high, despite it's not sharp, despite it is different from all the previous cases, and so on and so forth. So again, just another probability, guys. Another point which I have to mention is the Bitcoin dominance. So you see, currently it's around 50%, and you see from the beginning of this year, we see the decrease in the Bitcoin dominance from 72%, right, to 52%. It's a lot, meaning that altcoins are going up. and they're going up faster than Bitcoin, much faster. So currently, a half of the capitalization of crypto market is in altcoins, and as you know, altcoins are not always the best or the great assets, and they often quite poor projects, and they don't have any fundamental values and so on. You remember 2017 when it was the era of ICOs, and most of them are just outright scam or just very poor projects which don't have any value, any meaningful sense behind them. But despite that, a lot of capital went from Bitcoin to those ICOs, and then even after the all-time high in end of 2017, we see the decrease in the dominance of Bitcoin because people were so eager to hop on the train of another second Ether or second XRP, and they invest in scam. Basically because a lot of new people with very poor patience and low understanding of the market came, and they lost their money, and they were investing in their risky assets. When the industry, some field, is experiencing the top of the cycle in terms of the price action, then the risky parts of the risky assets within this field are going up faster than the most valuable and fundamental one. So like here, Bitcoin is the best, the most valued and valuable part of this market, but altcoins are the most risky assets, and we see the same pattern as before in 2017 and 18. So is it the sign of the end of the cycle? It is definitely a sign, but doesn't mean that it is the case. So it just adds the probability for the fact that it is. And in fact, a lot of the altcoins here are going up for a while, and most of them, or a lot of them, went even to their previous all-time high and above it. Even huge ones like Ether, right, or BNB and so on. You see, all of them are green during previous year, and you would expect them going much higher than the previous all-time high. Again, this is the pattern which we might expect to occur, but it's not necessary to happen. This adds more weight to the fact that this is not the end of the cycle, and we'll see probably more of the rise, but this is not a very strong argument, I would say. So as you see, this is a very probabilistic approach that should be taken when we are considering our investments here and our decisions and our expectations for market to go one way or another. So what to do right now? You said, okay, you said so many words, I don't understand what to do. I'll tell you what to do. So if you're thinking, shall I buy, shall I sell, shall I wait? I would say that you have to wait. So currently, or you have to sell, but you have to trade, but with a very careful methods, like using stop orders, managing your risks, and so on. But two major things, as I showed you before, we have this zone, right? Well, depends how do you put them, but in any case, this zone. And I would think that it's very important to see how the price will go up or down from the zone. You can easily sell somewhere here. If the price, and again, you can set the stop order. If the price goes like this, then you can buy around here or here, and then stop order should be around this area. I would guess that we might see, again, my personal opinion, that we have a very high chance for this zone to be broken downwards. And the question is, to which zone? So I'd say that first area is something like 45,000, and then we collect the stop orders, collect the liquidity just above this previous low. And then if price goes lower, then we may expect a bounce from this area, which is $43,000, and actually it could be at the same zone as for the target for this bearish pennant. And also there we have the moving average, so it's so many resonation between different signals here. And from that point we may see the rise again, stop order or stop order, depending on your risk probability, risk profile, and so on. Another zone to test is probably something like 33. This is quite bearish scenario, as you see, but it's above this level, which is the previous low. So it would be reasonable if the price going a little bit below, a little bit above this low without breaking it, because then it will be a cascade of the liquidations and quite devastating scenario. But this is more realistic. And again, we shall look at how the price reacts with one or another zone or level. Short term though, let's look at the short term. What I would like to show you here is the behavior of the price at the moment. Here we have the lows in the price going down. On the indicator though, the lows on the price go up, meaning that there is a bullish divergence. The stochastic is very low, very high chance that it goes up, meaning that the price may go up. Will it go up confidently and strong with a strong push? We don't know. We need to be we need to observe that and see that. But in any case, if it does, then we can go in along with long position with a nice stop order around here. So that's pretty much it for today, guys. A very long video. I didn't want to make it that long, but like I did make an update for a while. So as soon as I'll make my laptop back, get it back, I will probably try to make it more frequently. But so far, that's probably it for today, guys. And I hope that it is useful. Some of you don't get too greedy and don't be too fearful, and just I hope that you'll get some profits, and I hope that those videos are somehow educational and useful, and somebody will get something from it. That is it for today. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next video next time. Goodbye.